We've long wondered whether we're alone in the universe. In the past century, the search for extraterrestrial life has gotten fully underway, as we look for signs within our own solar system as well as in other star systems. Evidence of alien life has eluded us, but there's a strong possibility that what we're looking for will find us first. This is Unveiled, and today we're answering the extraordinary question: what happens if aliens discover Earth? Do you need the big questions answered? Are you constantly curious? Then why not subscribe to Unveiled for more clips like this one and ring the bell for more thought-provoking content. If other intelligent species exist outside our own solar system, it's likely that they too are searching for signs of alien life. Human intelligence and scientific advancements have made us aware of our place in the universe, leaving us curious as to whether or not we're alone in such thoughts. Theoretically, intelligent life elsewhere would, at some point, face the same questions. With 100 billion stars in the Milky Way, it wouldn't be that surprising to discover that life is abundant within our galaxy. Even if extraterrestrial civilizations are unable to reach Earth, due, for example, to the sheer distances involved, we would still expect to find signals sent by them, or biosignatures. Unfortunately, no such evidence has been found, at least so far. Lacking evidence for sentient life beyond Earth, it could be inferred that it's very rare for a planet to develop life. This discrepancy between the lack of evidence for alien life and its high likelihood is called the Fermi paradox, and there have been many attempts to solve it. One of the common theories to explain our solitude in the universe is called the Great Filter. The idea is that somewhere in the evolutionary process, there's a great barrier that makes detectable extraterrestrial life incredibly uncommon. Currently, we can only guess whether this filter lies before or behind our current stage of development. Historically, humans have adapted their technology to expand outwards as much as possible. Life has always dispersed and spread into new frontiers. Generally, human technology has always moved forwards. So, if we extrapolate to our future, we would expect ourselves to continue to expand outwards, slowly colonizing the galaxy and learning to harness new forms of energy. But with the universe approaching its 14 billionth birthday, why does it seem like no other form of life has left its mark on the universe? This is what the Great Filter seeks to answer. The easier it is for life to evolve to our stage of development, the less optimistic our future becomes, and the more likely it is that the Great Filter lies ahead of us. This could be, for example, in the form of nuclear war or global warming. On the other hand, the filter could also be long behind us, being at the earliest stages of evolution. Neither are particularly encouraging, with one side saying we're heading towards probable extinction and the other suggesting that we're likely to be entirely alone. There are other proposed solutions to the Fermi paradox, however. One is that aliens do exist in abundance, we just simply can't see evidence of them. Another idea is that it's too resource-heavy to expand through a galaxy, and space is really just too large to traverse. It could also be the case that the galaxy actually is colonized, but Earth resides in an isolated backwater region too distant to be worth colonization. Additionally, it might be the case that it's dangerous to communicate with other civilizations, and that many are actively hiding. Or perhaps the next stage of evolution won't be to expand outwards, but to focus inwards, in the form of virtual realities. Why bother to explore space, which is harsh and dangerous, when we can create and enter limitless virtual universes instead? Potentially, all life ends up finding happiness in a simulated paradise and gives up on outward expansion. And that's why we haven't found anything. If aliens did discover Earth, first off, it would help us understand where the great filter lies. It all depends on the manner of discovery. The idea of first contact, the first meeting of humanity with extraterrestrials, is a common theme in science fiction. It was popularized by H.G. Wells in The War of the Worlds, released in 1897. The novel tells the story of Martians arriving on Earth, resulting in a brutal conflict that eventually ends with them dying from bacteria. If aliens did discover Earth, their intentions might not be benevolent. We know this to be true looking at our own history, especially with regard to colonialism. There's a high chance that if aliens came to Earth, it would be to harvest our resources and control our planet. Of all first contact scenarios, this is certainly the bleakest. It could be that the Great Filter is actually, in itself, another civilization that works to destroy all others. The signals we send into space might then be unwittingly inviting destruction. It's a real concern for some. Of course, there are other, more optimistic visions of first contact too. The popular franchise Star Trek portrays a future where humanity has abandoned all materialistic desires in favor of learning and exploring the universe. When new, intelligent life forms are discovered, humankind avoids interacting with them until they progress to a certain level, specifically when they develop spacefaring technology. Perhaps aliens do the same thing in reality to avoid interfering with other civilizations' development. In this scenario, it might be the case that aliens have already discovered Earth, but deemed us not advanced enough to justify making first contact. Maybe aliens visited Earth millions of years ago when dinosaurs controlled the planet, long before the dominance of primates. If this happened, they would be unlikely to have any meaningful interactions with Earth's past inhabitants. For all we know, they may have left equipment behind to watch our planet's growth, potentially hidden on the moon, elsewhere in the solar system, or even on our planet itself, according to some theories. Currently, though, no evidence supports this claim. Then again, perhaps aliens will make first contact in our lifetimes, and it will be peaceful. There are actually various protocols drawn up by researchers for what to do. There are still potential problems, though. None of these protocols are binding under any nation's laws, and scientists therefore believed that they are likely to be ignored. The first was created by the SETI Institute and is called the Declaration of Principles for Activities Following the Detection of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. This protocol contains 8 steps. The first is that once a sign of alien life is detected, it must be verified. Once verified, various global scientific unions need to be informed, and following on from this, the discovery needs to be made public. The discoverer has the right to make the announcement themselves. However, no one is authorized to reply to any signals without international agreement. A separate protocol, called the Proposed Agreement on the Sending of Communications to Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has also been formulated. It recommends that an international committee would be formed to create a reply forbidding any messages being sent without the committee's clearance. This is in case the alien life is deemed to pose a threat to humanity, and aims to prevent replying in a fashion that would strengthen this danger. This protocol hasn't been made into law, however. Hopefully, extraterrestrials are friendly towards humankind, and we may share knowledge with each other, resulting in benefits on both sides. Unfortunately, our own human history has many examples of civilizations meeting new ones, and it usually leads to invasion and colonization. We would like to think this age is behind us, but if other life has evolved similarly to us, it may not be a feature exclusive to humanity. If aliens discovered Earth, there's a chance it could usher in a new age of technological advancements and developments. On the other hand, it could also bring about our destruction. we will only be able to know for certain once first contact is made. What do you think? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments. Check out these other clips from Unveiled and make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for our latest content.